after 22 years of hurt. Cars were beeping their horns all night. The pubs and bars were absolutely bouncing. And there was only one man to send there, somebody that is very comfortable in that environment. It's talkSPORT's Max Scott. Right in the thick of it he was. He caught up with the ecstatic Gunners painting the town red.
Well, 22 years of pain, 22 years of disappointment, 22 years, a generation of being called the bridesmaids, of being the bottlers. This is what it looks like. This is what football does to grown men and grown women. Tears being shed here in North London. And sometimes words cannot articulate what football does to people. It cannot do it justice. The cameraman is an Arsenal fan and he's lost his mind. Arsenal fans are absolutely losing it. This man has come from Hong Kong.
Yeah, let's go, Gunners!
All the way from Hong Kong. He left his newborn son with his wife. That's what football does to people. It's absolutely incredible what's happening here today.
I mean, there's over the top, there's over the top. And now to give his thoughts, I'm delighted to say that joining us live from Istanbul, who's somebody who I can quite categorically tell you is slightly calmer than Max Scott was. It's the man behind Daily Arsenal. It's Adrian Durham. Good morning,
Good morning,
Adrian.
Aid.
How are you?
It's not good morning.
Are you just... Do you share... I see you don't really share Max's and the supporters and that cameraman's enthusiasm there.
No, not really. And actually, the guy who was with, the guy from Hong Kong, right, he just said there, it's just true, that guy from Hong Kong came all the way from Hong Kong, left his newborn
Shocking
son
that is.
just to come and like dance around the streets of Islington. Absolutely.
Disgusting, Adrian.
No, to be fair...
I'll never do that.
No, he left him with a bottle. He had a bottle. He left him with a bottle. And
Some nappies.
There was a change of nappies, yeah. Come on, guys. Let's...
Dear, oh dear. What they should all do is just say, oh, right, City didn't win, cup of cocoa, go to bed. Because it's about time they won the league.
But you've got to give him a bit of credit, though. Come on, 22 years. They've proved themselves to be the best team
What have they
this
spent?
season.
What have they spent?
We can say it's been an average. You can talk about whatever you like. But...
What have they spent, Ali?
Doesn't matter. Does it matter?
Over £1 billion.
So
Arteta.
that doesn't guarantee success. You have to say, well done.
Well done.
You have to because they've finished top, and
Yes.
the history books will say they're champions. You can't take it away from them. And congratulations to them. It hurts hard. They said to me last week, do you want to go to Arsenal Burnley Monday and then go to Bournemouth City on Tuesday, or do you want to get as far away as possible? And I said the latter, please. So
Istanbul, please.
yeah, in terms of Europe, you couldn't get further away. So I was all for coming to Istanbul. Are we going to talk about the Villa?
Yeah, let's move
Who
on.
wants to talk about the Villa?
We're going to talk about
what
the
I
Villa in
mean.
2 seconds because I want to move on to...
Yeah, let's move on
There's so much
swiftly.
to talk about. I mean, there's...
Have we stopped talking about Arsenal?
Yes.
Well, yes, for the moment.
Yeah, well done.
I want to
Arsenal.
move on to the...
Now do it nicely.
I'm going to move on to the North London rivals.
Right.
I mean, they had an opportunity last night to put themselves safe and clear. They couldn't blow it, could they?
Yeah, they've had a mare, haven't they? They've had a shocker.
Yeah.
I was listening to Cundy last night on the sports bar, Cundy and O'Hara. They were brilliant. The watch along was sensational. It really was. And then they got on air to do the sports bar, and Cundy's called him Roberto De Spursy, and I have just died. I've completely gone. It's like a couple of weeks ago when I heard him call the defender Mickey can't defend.
Yes.
I mean, just absolutely died. They absolutely nail it every time. And listen, it kind of in their hand, go to Chelsea and win, or go to Chelsea and get something.
Just a draw, they needed.
I mean, it's
But
unbelievable.
it's no real surprise that because their record,
Of course,
their
yeah.
record's appalling there.
Yeah, but have you seen Chelsea? They're so bad this
Yes.
season.
That was their chance
I
to
know,
beat them.
They've picked up a little bit. I saw them at Liverpool, who were poor, and I saw them at the cup final, and they were all right. They've picked up ever so slightly.
You're struggling there, mate, aren't you?
Yeah, yeah.
What I would say, though, is that West Ham, their first half performance
Newcastle.
against Newcastle was a disgrace.
Oh, it was, yeah.
Picked the wrong formation,
Yeah.
the wrong players. So they've got a chance against Leeds. That won't be easier for West Ham either.
No. Well, listen, it's great that it's going down to the final day for the neutrals, but not for them, obviously. But what a big story. I mean, we've been robbed of some massive stories. Arsenal blowing it would have been a massive story. Hearts winning the league would have been brilliant. We all know. Sorry to mention it, mate. But this one could Spurs going down.
Oh,
that could be
Talk a lot, do you think?
So yeah, absolutely. I think so. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
we're talking about big stories, and this morning, I tell you what,
wow, the biggest.
It might be the biggest.
Yeah.
It really might be
Spurs,
the biggest.
that stadium in the Championship next season.
I'm not talking about that, and you know I'm not.
What?
I'm talking about Southampton.
Okay, Spygate.
I mean, that, when you take everything into account, the grand scheme of things, finances, fans again, organising travel for weekends away and all that stuff, shambles, mate.
But if you speak to a lot of Southampton fans, they're ashamed of what their club has done, okay? So it's not like the whole of Southampton and their fan base is thinking, oh, we've been wronged here. I think they're holding their hands up and saying, listen, it's not our fault, it's not the fans' fault, and it isn't. But the club has done them a dirty one. And I think that there's nothing else they could have done, really. I think Southampton, you couldn't have cheats going through to the final. You couldn't have cheats going up to the Premier League.
So it's the right decision for you, Adrian?
100% the right decision. You can have a debate about whether it should be Middlesbrough going into that playoff final, but I'm not really sure what else you could have done. Middlesbrough were cheated on, they were spied on, and who knows? People are saying, oh, well, that didn't help them win. How the hell do they know? You know, who knows what they gleaned from...
Do you think the manager should be sacked for it?
Oh, 100%, yeah. He should walk away, really. He should step down, given what he's done. But, yeah, I mean, I also look at Taylor Harwood-Bellis, the captain of the club, putting the binoculars to his eyes and in celebration of a goal. I mean...
Embarrassing now.
Have you no idea what's gone on here, mate? You know, read the room.
Yeah.
And that in itself is a problem. I said from the start that he shouldn't be anywhere near Wembley. He should be banned for it. And now he's not going to get near Wembley because Southampton ain't going to be there.
One thing I would say regarding that, you've got to have a degree of sympathy for other players, man. I mean, I don't care what anybody says. The players have got nothing to do with it, and all of a sudden they're waking up to this news this morning. Supporters, as I mentioned, booking travel and all that stuff. I just think it's I don't disagree in terms of the punishment. I think it's extremely harsh. I don't think there's any other way they could do.
Do you think they had to make a statement, though, the EFL?
100%,
So it doesn't happen again?
That's spot on. And I think this is what I was just going to say, that, you know, Southampton have done wrong here. You can't just let it go and there's a little fine and you know, maybe there's points deducted at some point in the future if they're in the EFL. You can't go with that. There has to be a serious deterrent. Yeah. Because they've set out the rules and this is cheating. And it's baffling why they've done it. Why can't you? I mean, did the manager not trust his own players? Did he feel he had to get that little bit extra? Exactly. And I know they all try and get the percentage.
I don't get it.
I don't get it. They spied on Oxford.
I know.
And lost the game. And Oxford got relegated. I mean, it's mad. That situation is absolutely
desperation.
Mad. So
the camera couldn't have been switched on for that Oxford. I mean, surely it could have.